Hi, my darlings. I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Sophie. I have a doctorate in literature, which means I get way too emotionally invested in the shows that we're watching. So if that sounds like something you will enjoy, why don't you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video? Today, we are reacting to the Jujutsu Kaisen movie. I'm very excited and curious as to what the movie is going to be about. I don't know what we're actually delving into. There was a little synopsis, but I kind of refused to read it because I was worried that there was going to be like spoilers, and I'd rather just go in completely unknown and enjoy the movie for what it is without preemptively having it revealed. I loved season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I'm so excited to get into season 2. But everyone has told me to watch the movie before season 2, so we're watching the movie. Then we're going to watch season 2, then there's season 3, and then season 4 just got announced. But I can't watch the season 4 trailer because, again, we haven't got that far. So I am very excited to watch season 3 and then finally be able to watch the trailer so I can experience it. It's kind of sad that I can't get in on the hype. I'm hyped that there is a season 4 to look forward to, but I can't get in on the hype of actually seeing it and being able to engage with people and the fan discussions around it. I have to wait slightly longer, and by that point, I don't know if anyone's going to really be interested in seeing me react to the trailer, primarily because by the time I actually get there, we could actually already have season 4. I don't know if there was a date announced or if it was just a trailer, because I know Chainsaw Man season 2 got a trailer, which I still haven't seen, but I will be filming a react for it. But there wasn't a date, and then Witch Hat Atelier just got season 2 announced, but there's no date, I think, again. So it's very much it's coming, but we're not going to tell you when just yet because we don't have a finalized idea. So I don't know if season 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen was slightly different, but yeah, we could already be in season 4 by the time we get to that point. So then again, me watching the trailer may just be completely pointless because I'm not going to be able to experience it. If season 4 isn't released by the time I finish season 3, because I think season 2 and season 3 are quite short, then I can still watch the trailer and post a react, even though people probably won't give a shit about me watching the trailer as much because it'll be recency hype as to why people would like a react to the trailer. But we can do it nonetheless. It'd be fun to see it before the season comes out and do some like theory crafting and looking at what it reveals and hinting towards. But ultimately, we don't know yet. But without further ado, I'm not going to yap because, again, I don't really have much to say. Season 1 was amazing. Season 1 left on a very positive, wholesome outcome, which I don't think is going to continue based on the tragedy that we've already seen with the death wound portraits having to die and them calling brother to each other. And then Chozo is now gunning for revenge because they were all he had in the world. They were bonded by blood and they were taken from him. So he's furious. He's going to be hunting Itadori. He seems really fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing more of his character as this series progresses. But we also tragically lost Yoshino, and that was very unexpected. And it was oh god, I didn't see that coming. There were no death flags. I thought maybe there was going to be a redemption arc. No, there wasn't. And I was very sad about it. So this is going to get more emotional. It's going to be more packing hard punches at me. So I'm kind of embracing myself for it now, that season 1 is probably as nice and calm as it gets, and then it's only more chaotic and sad from here on out, and traumatic. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into the movie. Jujutsu
劇場版
movie version, yes.
映画見る前にお餅を食べるとトイレに行きたくなくなるんだってよ。
え？私は塩分を取ると
Young ghetto, and they're in the uniforms. Oh my god, so they were students together. That was one of my theories for season 1. is that they were students together, that's how they know each other, because there's this like almost tension every time Gojo is mentioned by Geto, and he name drops him constantly, and he knows the in and outs of the Tokyo school. The only way he would know that is if he was a student there. The only way he would know Gojo is if they were students together. So we've a Juju Shaw that features a young Geto. Let me just skip back real quick, because it wasn't Sukuna that was in the Juju Stroll this time. It was, I believe I was gonna say at first I thought it was Megami, but the scar is unusual. The scar on the mouth, Megami doesn't have a scar there, so maybe it's not somebody we've met yet, but I initially was like, is that Megami? But no. Especially because they're like lay there and then they've got the like curse spirit draped around them. So maybe isn't a character we've met before. Sorry, I'm like losing my shit.
映画見る前にお餅を食べるとトイレに行きたくなくなるんだってよ。
Oh my goodness.
私は塩分を取るといいって聞いたけど、ポップコーン食べる？
キャラメルにしろっつったろ。
I like salted popcorn.
おじんじパワハラがひどいから別のロン毛を派遣してくれ。病室に一人はいそうなやつ。
別のホスト崩れも派遣よろしく。
Oh,
血が消化されて
The tension.
腎硬原が合成されると水分が細胞内に引き込まれるからトイレに行きたくなくなるって説があるけど根拠はないよ。
さすがヤブ医者。
ブラックジャックにし
wait,
まった
that's the
ブラッ
doctor.
クジャックって医大出てるのに、なんで無免許なんだっけ？
その答えがこの映画でわかるってことなんだよね。
信じるか信じないかはあなた次第。
一応言っとく
Oh my god,
けど
this is
ヤブ医者のヤブは
insane.
呪術って意味もあるからね。
The movie's starting, guys. Is this like a prequel to season 1? Like Gojo and Geto as like Jujutsu sorcerers, maybe?
その夏は忙しかった。
I'm gonna lose my shit if it is.
昨年頻発した災害の影響もあったのだろう。宇治のように呪霊が湧いた。払う。
Oh god.
その繰り返し。
Rinse and repeat.
払う。取り込む。みんなは知らない。呪霊の味。吐砂物を処理した雑巾を丸飲みしているような。払う。
What a life.
取り込む。私が見たものは何も珍しくない。周知の醜悪。知った上で私は術師として人々を救う選択をしてきたはずだ。あの日から自分に言い聞かせている。
Ever since that day.
あの日から。
Oh. Ever since that day. Oh, sorry, I keep pausing. There's like so much. I understood the ugliness of the masses and still chose to be a jujutsu sorcerer who saves others. I knew it was dirty work. I knew it was disgusting. I knew the taste was foul, but I was telling myself it was for a greater good. I was telling myself it was to save others, that it was to save people. And that's what I've been telling myself ever since that day. And then there's the juxtaposition between him and Gojo. Ever since that day. What happened on that day?
もともとは
Was it a day that
地元で
changed your
焼肉チェーン
perspective?
店を展開する運営会社の社長一家が住んでいたそうです。しかし昨年の7月、例の BSE 問題で焼肉店が壊滅的な打撃を受けたことから多額の借金を苦にして一家心中。以来社長宅は心霊スポットとして
Well,
噂となり、
he probably committed
地元の中高
suicide,
生や県
but
外の
probably
留学生
murdered his
フリ
family
ーター
in the
などが
process.
肝試しとして訪れ、相次いで行方不明に。
That seems to be happening a lot, this test of courage.
心霊スポットの類はとかく噂が広まるのが早いからね。特に最近はインターネットによって信じられないくらいのスピードで広まっていく。結果、私たち呪術師の
Oh my
出番
god,
は
it's
増
so
加傾向に
weird
な
seeing
って
them all so young.
それ以外にも学校帰りに行方不明になった小学生3人、その親族、警官、その同僚、友人と行方不明
Oh my
者
god,
の
this is
方々があの
crazy.
洋館に行き着き、被害に遭っている可能性があります。
So they have to stop it from happening to other people too.
またふっかけたんですか？
She's gotta make
人
money.
聞きが悪いの。交渉したと言ってくれ。
God, this is so exciting. Maybe I'm being dumb, but the girl with the green hair and the glasses, I don't think we've seen her before.
呪いの気配が
She
感
kind
じ
of
られ
looks
る。
like Maki,
十
but
中八
it's
九
obviously not
原因
Maki.
は建物の中にある。外から叩くとなった時に改めて下ろせばいい。
なんか詰まってるみたいです。
Rubbish.
さっさと行くよ。
She's
私
so
はいらないけど。
unfazed. She's like,
You
yeah,
don't.
this is fine. She said, I don't need that, but you do. So she has very good eyesight. Interesting. A lot of little tidbits being thrown at us.
すごいですね。
God, it's so eerie, isn't it?
私はこのフロア。歌姫は2階を。
一人でですか？
何か問題でも？
いえ、大丈夫です。
I'd be the same. I was like, what do you mean split up? I'm not going up there on my own. Then again, it's their job. You know, the Jujutsu sorcerers. I'm expecting something to like jump out at any minute, and it's kind of got me really unnerved. Like a horror movie. Oh, the noose. Oh, there's still evidence of the suicide.
ここで最後。
God. Oh. There's something so eerie about the clothes being like folded and laid out on the bed, as if for the next day that never came because they were killed. Why do I feel like I'm gonna like jump? Oh, it's little mice. She didn't even scream. Oh, the lights are all red.
次のスクリームクイーンになれるよ。
もう脅かさないでくださいよ。
She was trying to hold it together till she felt that like hand on her shoulder.
一回の探索終わったんですか？
Oh my god.
ん？ここは1階だよ。私は1階の廊下を歩いてきたんだ。
だって私突き当たりの部屋に入ったはず。
お菓子の箱、トレーナー。私はもう3回見ている。
Oh my god, it's like the hotel in Chainsaw Man, where it's like the Infinity Devil.
どうやら私たちはもう腹の中みたい
It's very eerily similar
え
in that everything repeats itself and there's no end. That's insane!
どこまで続くのよ。この廊下。聖徳領域ではないですよね。
あれは心象風景が具現化する。となると、
結界術。
正解。
Okay,
被害
so
者
a
たちは
barrier,
お
not
そ
an
らく
innate
閉じ込められ
domain.
たまま呪霊に取り殺されたんだろ
That's awful!
う。歌姫ならどう突破する？
この廊下はループしています。はじめはこんな感じで
よく触れるね。
ドーナツのような構造を想像しました。でもメイさんのつけた印を4回通りましたよね。その間隔を歩数で計測したところ、122歩、203歩、157歩、270歩と、印と印の間隔はランダムでした。おそらくこういう感じで継ぎはぎ状に結界を構成している。
Okay.
廊下を2人で全速力で走り
They'll
抜け
hit
れば
the
どこか
edge of the barrier. Or the boundary of the barrier. Because it won't be able to keep up.
惜しい。90点。
90 points.
あとの10点は
走るなら左右同時に。
Oh. Because if it's a weak one, it won't be able to duplicate it perfectly on both sides.
隙ができれば外に出られるかも。
100点。
そうと決まれば
Hey!
もし成功したら昇級お
To
願いします。
first grade?
貯金。 いくらある？
So you have to pay me for that recommendation, which is what Gojo did the end of season 1. Whoa! Oh my god, that's crazy. It's collapsed in on itself.
助けに来たよ
God's sake, Gojo.
歌姫
Fuck's sake, Gojo. I'm here to save you. Bit late, don't you think?
泣いたら慰めてくれるかな？
No.
ぜひお願いしたいね。
ゴジョ私はね助けなんだよ
Whoa!
飲み込むなよ。後で取り込む。サトル、弱い者いじめは良くないよ。
強いやついじめるバカがどこにいんだよ
君の方がナチュラルに煽っているよ、ゲトン君。
あ、
歌姫先輩無事ですか
She's like, oh, my bestie. It's like, save me from these horrible boys.
なりませんよあんなクズども
They're trash.
2日
ああやっぱ呪霊の結界で時間ずれてたけ珍しいけ
It
ど
must
た
have
まにある
been.
よねメイさんがいるのにおかしいと思ったんだ
そのようだね。
何か
いや、ということは実動2日というわけ
So she can charge
そ
more,
の
right?
分のギャランティーを上乗せしてもらわないといけないなと思ってね。
Oh my
か
god.
ける気なんだ。
The
それは
animation.
そうだ、君たち。帳は
ああ
Oh, they didn't do it.
続いて昨日静
あ
岡県浜松市で起きた爆発
この中に帳は自分で下ろすからと補助監督を置き去りにしたやつがいるな。そして帳を忘れた。
Oh, whoops. Oh, Gojo.
犯人探しはやめませんか
サトルだな。
So Yago was his teacher before Yago became the principal. Crazy.
別にパンピーに見られたってよくね呪霊も呪
She's
術も
got
見
his
えねえんだ
glasses
し
on. Doesn't matter.
そのためにも目に見えない脅威は極力秘匿しなければならないのさ。それだけじゃない。
わかったわかった
This is so beautifully tragic because they were such good friends.
弱者生存。それがあるべき社会の姿さ。
The strong protecting the
弱きを
weak.
助け強きをくじく。いいかい悟る。呪術は非術師を守るためにある。
That's their job. That's their
そ
role.
れ正論俺正論嫌いなんだよね
Such a sassy little shit,
力
isn't
に
he?
理由とか責任を乗っけんのはさそれこそ弱者がやることだろ
Oh, he doesn't like that. Oh, he's not happy.
ポジショントークで気持ちよくなってんじゃねえよ
So we're already starting to see the difference in philosophy, where Geto's essentially saying, no, that is our job. We're designed because we are strong to protect those in need, those that are weak. That the whole foundation of the way the world operates is based on the mental capacity of the population. So if you traumatize more people, then you're going to end up with more curses existing. So, you know, that's the whole foundation, is maintaining the mental positivity of society and managing the negativity by erasing the cursed spirits that are born from those manifestations. So, you know, that's why they need the veil, to conceal as much as they can. But we have Gojo essentially saying, I don't see the point. I don't see the point of protecting those that are weaker than me. But of course Gojo doesn't see that, because Gojo is so fucking incredibly strong that he genuinely probably has a bit of an ego in that those that are weaker than him are irrelevant, because they should just be strong like him. They should just be capable like him. It's giving teenage boy that has had a very narrow perception of how the world operates and how it should be in relation to himself, that he's not thinking beyond himself. He's not thinking of the world as a whole in the way that Geto is. But we do see that shift, that we see Gojo not stepping on the ants. And by extension, the ants would be weaker than Gojo. The fact that Gojo uses his infinity to step over them to demonstrate the level of his power without harming those that are weaker shows that there's been a rapid sort of departure from this mentality that he has as a second year student to the Gojo we see as teacher. But also the fact that in season 1, he talks about how he has the strength and the ability to get rid of the higher ups if he wanted, but he chooses not to. So he is protecting those that are weaker than him by not targeting the higher ups of the Jujutsu sorcerers, because in comparison to Gojo, they are weaker. In comparison to Gojo, everyone is weaker. So that's kind of what Geto is trying to say, in a sense, is that, you know, we're Jujutsu sorcerers, we have these abilities, we are strong, we should be protecting the weak. That's the whole point. That's what we're here to do. That's our job. And Gojo's just like, I don't see the point of that. But then again, that would mean that Gojo would be happy to sacrifice everyone because no one is as strong as him. That we've seen so far. So far, Gojo is the one that everyone fears, to the point that they're trying to like keep Gojo sort of tied up away from what they're intending to do in Shibuya because they fear Gojo's intervention. They don't want Gojo to be able to intervene with their plans for Shibuya. So it's just interesting to see the difference in philosophy, but also Gojo as a teenager. I mean, he's sassy as an adult, but he seems to have kind of mellowed and calmed down, whereas this Gojo is very kind of arrogant.
逃げろ。
外で話そうか。サトル。
寂しんぼか。
一人で行けよ。
Oh,
いつまで遊んでる？証拠はどうした？
さあ、
she's like, I don't want any involvement in this.
この任務はお前たち二人に行ってもらう。なんだその面は。
いや別に。
正直荷が重いと思うが、天元様のご指名だ。聖正体、天元様との適合者、その少女の護衛と抹消だ。
And erase her? Damn.
春だしね。次期学長ってんで浮かれてるのさ。冗談はさておき。
冗談で済ますかは俺が決
天
めるからな。
元様の術式の初期化ですか？
なんだよ。
天元様は不死の術式を持っているが、不老ではない。ただ老いる分には問題ないが、一定以上の老化を終えると、
He
術式が肉体を作り変えよう。
is the one that has control over the doors, right? I'm sure that name rings a bell when Geto was talking about the doors and there being like multiple entrances and pathways that are all maintained by Tengen. So this girl is a vessel. So the point is to escort her and then to erase her because it's in relation to Tengen's gift of, well, not gift, his technique of immortality. But once he hits a certain point, it sort of, what did he say? Not eternal youth. It wouldn't be an issue if all he did was get older. Okay. But after his body ages to a certain point, the curse technique begins rewriting his body. So something to do with this girl, erasing her would benefit Tengen. Is this sort of where there's going to be maybe a departure in Geto? Because something severs Geto's belief in Jujutsu sorcerers, in going down this path, and turns him into becoming a curse user, involving himself with the likes of Mahito. Is it to do with this girl? Like this task to erase her, like he can't bring himself to do it because their job is to protect those that are weaker, not erase them to benefit someone else. I'm not sure, but I feel like she's obviously going to play a key part because she is someone they have to escort, but I feel like they might grow attached to the point that there's almost this conflict over what they're being asked to do.
進化。人でなくなりより高次の存在となる。
天元様曰く、その段階の存在には 意志というものがないらしい。天元様が天元様で亡くなってしまう。
Okay, he'd be something else
高専
entirely.
各校、呪術界の拠点となる結界、
Would be
多くの補助
gone.
監督の結界術、それらすべてが天元様によって
Yeah,
強
so
度を
without
損なしている。
him, all of this disappears.
天元様が人類の敵となる可能性もある。
Oh, so it's to contain him.
肉体が一新されれば術式効果も振り出しに戻る。進化は起こ
So
らな
the
い。
cycle just continues
なるほど。
on and on and
メ
on
タ
and
ルグレイ
on.
モンになる分にはいいけど、スカルグレイモンになると困る。だからコロモンからやり直すって話ね。
Is this Digimon he's referring to?
その聖書体の少女の所在が漏れてしまった。
So they
今
need to
少
find
女の
her.
命を狙っている輩は大きく分けて2つ。天元様の暴走による現呪術界の転覆を目論む呪詛師集団9、天元様を信仰崇拝する宗教団体万世教時の器の会。
So both of them want Tengen to ascend, whereas they want to keep Tengen where he is by rewriting his technique.
でもさ、
So they have to,
呪詛師
well,
集
not
団
find her,
9
they
は
know
わか
where
るけ
she
ど、
is. They have to
万
protect
世
her
教
and
の方は
escort
なん
her
でガ
to
キンチョ殺した
Tengen.
いわけ？
崇拝しているのは純粋な天元様
They
だ。
think Tengen's a god, so
Yes, yes,
ascending into
つまりは
being a pure
不純物が混
being
ざる
is
のが
exactly
許
what
せ
they
ないのさ。
want.
万世教は非術師の集団だ。特段気にする必要はない。警戒すべきはやはり9。
俺たち最強だし、だから天元様も俺たちを指名したんだろ。
いや、サトル、前から言おうと思っていたんだが、一人称俺はやめた方がいい。
He's like,
特に目上の
excuse
人の前ではね、天元様に会うかもしれないわけだし、私、最低でも僕にしな。
Yeah.
年下にも怖がられにくい。
It's Gojo.
家めくって。
あのな、サトル。まあいい。また今度
He
話
still
そう。
doesn't really have respect for the higher ups, even even as an adult. He's mellowed out a little bit. Whoa!
私はな、
これでガキンチョ死んでたら俺らのせい。あ。
悪く思うなよ。恨むなら天元を恨み。の
目立つのは勘弁してくれ。今朝怒られたばかりなんだ。この子が聖正体。
その制服、宝泉の術師だな。ガキを渡せ。
No, he's not gonna do that.
聞こえないな。もっと近くで喋って
I love
く
that
れ。
he's got a fancy cape
いや
though.
ー、セーフセーフ。
Hold up a second. Let me finish my phone call.
五条悟だろ。有名人だ。強いんだってね。噂が本当か確かめさせてくれよ。
いいけど、ルールを決めよう。やりすぎて怒られたくないからね。
I love
泣
Gojo
いて
though.
謝れば殺さないでやるよ。
Oh,
これがルールね。
he's such a little sassy asshole.
万世教には
Such a
呪
vibe.
術師と戦う力がねえ。でも金払いはいいぞ。それは保証する。どうだ全員。聖正体暗殺。一枚噛まないか。
もう全員じゃねえ。向こうに入ったんでな。
Whoa!
今、伏黒だ。
This is
いいぜ
Megami's dad.
そ
Okay,
の話受けてやる。
wait. So it was Megami's dad in the Juju stroll because of the scar. Oh my god. So we get to meet Megami's dad.
頼む話を聞いてくれ俺が悪かったマジごめん
Let's kiss.
この弦から手を引く呪詛師もやめ
Just end this. Come on,
るも
kiss.
ちろんキューボだそうだ田舎に帰って米を作ろう
Oh Lord.
呪詛師に農家が務まるかよ。
聞こえてんじゃん学生風情がなめやがってだがここにはバイエルさんが来ている旧の最高戦力だ
Yeah, but Gojo is insane.
バイエルってこの人。
この人ですね
Fuck's sake, Gojo. organizations collapse. Jeez. Gojo really is insanely powerful. But so is Geto.
急にいなくなったと思ったら何してんだよ。
金を増やしてんのさ。
お前が勝ってんの見たことねえよ。
Is this why he maybe tried to sell Megami? Was to like pay off gambling debts or something?
まずはバカどもを使って削る。てめえこそ仕事しろよ。
下はボケ。何考えてんだ。手付金全額手放すの。
Oof.
だから削りだよ。心配しなくても全額返ってくるさ。このレースみてえにな。
Will it though? He's awfully confident.
おめえは楽して稼ぐの向いてねえよ。頼むぜ。術師殺し。
Oh, sorcerer killer. He's a hitman for sorcerers. That's insane. Is he going to talk about Megami? He doesn't even know, does he?
誰だっけ？
Your son, you fucking cretin.
証拠みたいに反転
Who's that? Your child.
いや無理でしょ。あいつも何言ってるかさっぱりだしな。
ヒューッとやってひょいったよ。
You've no sense because it only makes sense to her.
起きた。
Imagine waking up in Gojo's arms. Would not be my reaction, but that's okay.
わらわを殺したくば、まずは貴様から死んでみせよ。
リコちゃん落ち着いて。私たちは君を襲った連中とは違うよ。
嘘じゃ、嘘つきの顔じゃ。
You have the face of a liar. Your bangs are weird. Well, you were being mean to them too, so I mean...
これは前髪の方の術式です。
その言い方はやめてもらえます
Thanks, guy.
呪霊操術。文字通り取り込んだ呪霊を操れるのさ。
思ってたよりアグレッシブなガキンチョだな。どうかでおセンチになってんだろう。どう気を使うか考えてたのに。
いかにも下賤なものの考えじゃ。
ああ、
いいか。天元様はわらわで、わらわは天元様なのだ。貴様のように同化と死を混同している輩がおるが。
But it's not death, it's a simulation. She becomes a part of Tengen, Tengen becomes a part of her.
天元様もまたわらわとなる。わらわの意志、心、魂は同化後も生き続け。
What if she finds out that's not the case? And then she decides she doesn't want to go through with it.
学校じゃ普通に喋ってるもん。
She's like, that's a lie.
昼前ですが、やはり学校は。
うるさい。行くったら行くのじゃ。
さっさと高専戻った方が安全でしょう。
そうしたいのは山々だが、天元様のご命令だ。天内リコの要望にはすべて応え
I feel like Tengen's playing with them. Give in to all her demands.
ああは言っていたが、同化後彼女は天元様として高専最下層で結界の元となる友人、家族、大切な人たちとは。
But let her enjoy her time. Let her do what makes her happy. Because she'll never get to see them again. I honestly feel like she's putting on a brave face. She's pretending that she accepts the duty. But it's a lot to give up and sacrifice.
ですからせめてご友人とは少しでも。
それじゃあ、あなたが家族だ。
Oh. Getter, what happened?
監視に出してる呪霊は。
ああ、メイさんみたいに視覚共有
He's so kind and caring, so something must have really fucked with him mentally to make him turn against it all.
あ
2体払われた。
Oh.
天内は。
この時間は音楽なので、音楽室か礼拝堂ですね。
礼拝堂？
音楽教師の都合で変わるんです。
ついてくるでない。友達に見られたらどうするのじゃ。
申し訳ありません。
Well, there's no choice right now.
するよう言ったんですが。
だから目の届く範囲で護衛させろっつったのに、あのガキ。
I love how unfazed he is. He's supposed to be on this mission, but he's like, oh, I'll just keep gambling.
賞金は万世教からお前に支払われる手付金3000万。聖書隊がやられれば手付金はパー。下手したら成功報酬もないぞ。お前に依頼せずとも初めから賞金をという話になるからな。
あっちには五条悟がいるんだぞ。うん百年ぶりの陸眼と無加減呪術の抱き合わせ。あいつが近くにいる限り、聖書隊はまず殺せない。
You just made that 10 times bigger. Not even you. So, limitless technique, the 6 eyes. We've seen the limitless. Nobody tell me. I'm sure the show will delve into the 6 eyes. We may have seen it. We may not have seen it. He's clearly biding his time because, as he just said, you know, no one can get close to her if Gojo's there. And then he responds with, oh, not even you can take Gojo. And then there's this kind of like menacing silence. He can make things bigger and smaller. That's interesting. Is he about to win?
どうかな。とりあえず、バカどもには賞金のかかっている残り47時間。五条の周りの術師と五条本人の神経を削ってもらう。
And then they'll strike. Biding his time. He's got a plan in place. Fuck, he's menacing, isn't he?
なんでもない。もちろん聖書隊は殺せねえから、ただ働きだ。
時間制限を設けたのは良かったな。呪詛師の集まりがスムーズだ。
Of course, yeah, it's a lot of money.
ぼちぼち俺も向かう。思ってたより展開が早そうだ。3000万、しっかり戻せよ。
この辺の匿名掲示板じゃねえんだぞ。
電波が悪い。
It's like I don't want to listen anymore. He's an interesting figure.
おお、その制服は。
Oh, hello.
光線の制服を見て叩い位置を想定。自分の前後に式紙で挟んだ。
媒介なし。磁力の術師のものと異なる。まさか。呪霊操術か。
Yeah.
ご名答。さすが長生きしてるだけはあるね。
術式の格はあちらが上。だ
The
が
bad
術師
matchup.
の思考は式神使いのそれだ。おまけにその若さ。
Oh, he's underestimating him. Bad move.
近接嫌いが近接を警戒していない。やりやすいことこの上ないな。
なんかいろいろ考えてるみたいだけど、意味ないよ。
It's already over.
初手の2体はこれを想定させないためか。
What happens when you think you know everything, you know? You got your ass handed to you. Whoa! Okay. How could you kill this cute dog?
助け。お前助けか。両親は出来のいい弟にばかり金と時間を使い、見えないものが見えるわしを気味悪がった。
Oh,
そのわしにもくったくなく接してくれた唯一の
it's his
友達。
dog that he lost. Does this mean he's dead and he's reunited with him in heaven?
助け、お前が死ん。そうか。
Oh no, he's still alive. Maybe? I don't know anymore.
そうまとう。
Oh.
だな。
そんなことよりあんた、9? 万世教
Got to see his dog. I thought maybe he died and his dog was waiting for him.
危ない。
Oh, my boyfriend, guys. Oh. He's loving this.
困りますよ。身内とはいえ勝手に入られては。
ああ、いや、緊急なもんですいませんね。
あとこれ私のテレビ
賑やかな学校だな。
Oh, Lord
あ
above.
れほどみんなの前に顔を出すなと。
呪詛師襲来。
I don't know how old he is here. Is he like 18?
なんか浮いとる。
I don't know. But still, he's far too young for the teacher.
このまま高専行くぞ。
Oh,
友
heavens.
達が巻き込まれんのは嫌だろ
Oh, she can't even have her last day. Everyone's ruining it for her.
術師でもないチューブを殺して3000万。今夜はうなぎかな。
She's not a
人を殺し
sorcerer.
て食う飯はうまい
But Gojo and Geto are.
旧の人たちはもっと変な格好をしてますもんね。
Like, don't you fucking try. Oh, she's gonna be fucking epic, isn't she? The money shot.
お嬢様から何も奪うな。
She's suffered enough. Oh, that's class.
強いじゃないですか。
やっぱさっきのが3000万か。
式神。
いや、式神とは少し
She
違う。
melted.
あさっての午前11時までだそうだ。
う。なるほどね。
2、3、4人。みんな同じ背格好じゃ。
Duplication.
たく、呪術師は年中人手不足だっていうのに。
そのガキ譲ってくれればそれで。
No, that's not happening.
どこがいいんだよ。こんなガキ。
Goddamn, Gojo.
なんだ今のは。
どれが本体じゃ。
式神じゃねえ。分身だ。全部本体のな。
They're all real.
なんだそれ。
無限。
You can't touch me.
アキレスとカメだよ。本体含めマックス5体の分身術式。どれが本体かは常に自由に選択できるんだろ
That's insane. You can switch it.
なんでそんな弱いのか意味わからん。破壊されたらしばらく分身は出せないの。
Because, Gojo, you're just incredibly strong. So everyone's weak in comparison to you.
俺の術式はさ、収束する無限級数みたいなもんで、俺に近づくものはどんどん遅くなって、結局俺までたどり着くことはなくなるの。
We saw that with Jogo.
マイナス1個のリンゴみたいな虚構が生まれるんだ。そうするとさっきみたいな吸い込む反応が作れる。でも意外と不便なんだよね。あまり大きな反応は自分の近くには作れないし、思考性にまで気を使い出すと重力操作がまあ面倒で。
Damn,
今
okay.
日は超疲れんの。でもこれは全部順天の術式の話。
There's other aspects of it, right?
頭守って。
But the fact that he's revealing his technique makes it stronger, so...
こっちは
Gojo's
無
so
限の発
fucking
散。
cool.
術式判定。
My reverse curse technique.
赤
Okay, so not the eyes. This is repulsion?
失敗
I failed. It didn't work. So is this still something that he's like working on?
なんかできそうと思ったんだけどな。
Yeah. But we saw him do it in season 1. That's crazy. Well, I mean, it shows how much growth he's had as a sorcerer since that time here compared to season 1, you know?
万が一ということがあります。ゲトウ様の方が早い。先にお嬢様のところへ。
すまない。私のミスだ。
そうか。
He didn't know that was gonna happen though.
相手は次、人質交換的な出方で来るだろう。アマナイと黒井さんのトレードとか、アマナイを殺さないと黒井さんを殺すとか。でも交渉の主導権はアマナイのいるこっち。
She's not gonna let that happen. They're family. She hasn't really got anyone other than her.
取引にはわらわも行くぞ。まだお前らは信用できん。
ああ、このガキこの後に及んでまだ。
つけられたとしても、私が天元様と同化するまでに黒井が帰ってこなかったら。
She won't get to say goodbye. It's the closest thing she has to a parent. Oh, come on, Gojo. That got to him.
そのうち拉致犯から連絡が来る。もしあっちの頭が予想より回
Maybe
って
he can relate.
ママ
Maybe
内を連れ
he's
て
never
行くこと
had
で
a
黒井さんの生
family
存率が下がるよ。
or anyone that's ever treated him like family.
やっぱお前は置いていく。逆に言えば、途中でビビって帰りたくなってもシカトするからな。覚悟しとけ。
Damn. Day 2.
不意打ちなら仕方ないですよ。私の責任でもある。
不意打ちだったんですかね。Q の一件で気をつけてたつもりだったんですけど。
It's nothing to him.
というか、飛行機で来たんですね。大丈夫だったんですか？襲撃とか。
サトルは目がいい。あいつが離陸前に乗客乗員。機内外をチェックして、飛行
little
中は
Hawaiian
私の呪霊で
shirts,
外を張
though.
りました。下手な陸路より安全でしたよ。
Amazing.
それより私は沖縄を指定してきたことが気になります。
I love that we're seeing another beach scene in relation to Ghetto, but this is also in relation to Gojo. So now it's making me wonder if the beach we saw in season 1 is an innate domain, but it's Ghetto's innate domain, and maybe it's styled that way because of this memory, because it's maybe one of the last good times he shared with Gojo before everything kind of went to shit. I don't know, I just think it's very telling that we have a beach scene in this flashback and then a beach scene, numerous beach scenes in season 1. Of course, do not answer, hypothetical theory. I'm sure we'll maybe learn as we go, but I don't know, I just thought it was quite interesting.
時間稼ぎじゃないんですか？リコ様を殺められなくても明日の満月に間に合わないよ。まさか奴ら空港を占拠する気じゃ。
かもしれません。でも大丈夫。ここに来たのは私たちだけじゃない。
どう考えても1年に務まる任務。
僕は燃えているよ。
Bang!
ねえ、それに痛いけな少女のために先輩たちが身を粉にして頑張ってるんだ。僕たちが頑張らないわけにはいかないよ。
Oh my goodness. Wearing himself to the bone, I'm sure he is.
いいんでしょうか、観光なんて。
言い出したのはサトルですよ。
He's having the time of his life. He is. I think her words about not having anyone got to him. He felt almost emotionally connected to her in that moment.
すぐる、戻るのは明日の朝にしよ
う。だが、
天気も安定してんだろう。
He just wants to make her happy.
昨日から術式を解いてないな。睡眠もだ。今晩も寝るつもりないだろう。本当に高専に戻らなくて大丈夫。
Oh, he's worried about him.
問題ねえよ。桃鉄99年やった時の方がしんどかったわ。それに、お前もいる。
Oh my god, I kind of ship them though. They're kind of like tragic lovers because they end up being enemies. It's so sad that she has to sacrifice herself to assimilate with Tenmin, you know? She never gets to experience this again, that, yeah, part of her may live on, but she'll always be beneath the school. She won't ever get to feel the breeze and taste new foods and enjoy these new experiences. You know, she's so young and she puts on a brave face of saying, you know, this is my duty. I am the vessel. I am him and he is me. But, you know, it's not easy to give up this part of your life. And I think Gojo recognizes that and he's starting to acknowledge that maybe he was wrong about believing that his duty was only to value the strong, you know? He's seeing things through a new perspective. Oh, The flickering always has me unnerved. I always kind of relate it to a cursed spirit, but I think symbolically, with it being the exit sign, it could just be that there's slowly becoming no way out.
本当にお疲れ。
He's not happy. I think he's beginning to believe in Ghetto's words that their duty. Whoa! Hold the front door.
バカな。ここは光線結界の内側だぞ。
What the fuck?
あんたどっかで会ったか。
気にすんな。俺
Don't worry about it.
男の名前覚えんのは。
Don't worry about it.
五条家に生まれた陸眼のガキを面白半分で見に行ったことがある。
Six eyes.
後にも先にも背後に立った俺が蹴取られたのはこの時だけだった。
But he did.
削った。
Oh, yeah.
お前が鈍る。
Played the long game so that he could sneak up behind him. But I do think Gojo's starting to get on board with Ghetto's words that their job is to protect the weak.
術式は間に合わなかったけど内臓は避けたし、その後呪力で強化して刃をどこにも引かせなかった。ニットのセーターに安全ピン通したみたいなもんだ。
Safety pin for a knit sweater. That's crazy.
あまない優先。あいつの相手は
Maybe we did learn that the six eyes were why his eyes are blue and so unique, but I don't remember it coming up in season 1. So that's why I thought it was to do with, you know, the colors, but then we learned that's not the case. He's still formulating them. His reverse curse technique. The six eyes is literally his eyes. Ah, that's why it's like that in Juju Stroll.
できればお前はさっきので仕留めたかったんだが、なまったかな。
あまないの懸賞金はもう取り下げられたぞ、間抜け。
俺が取り下げたんだよ、痩せが。
It was all part of my plan.
緩急つけて偽のゴールをいくつか作ってやるんだ。万世教のやつら。沖縄行った時は笑ったけどな。周りの術師が一人も死ななかったのはクソだったが、懸賞金の時間制限がなければ、お前は最後まで術式解かなかったと思うぜ。
Oh my god. Do you think this is kind of where Geto gets the idea of like wearing Gojo down before Shibuya? So we know that the prison realm exists, right? That's something that they're going to bring into play, and that's likely to trap Gojo so that he can't interfere. But then part of sort of the additional aspect is wearing him down, is weakening him so that they can entrap him. Do you think he learned it because of this experience, that he saw firsthand what happened to Gojo? Because of the bounty being set and them constantly being under attack while this bounty was so high, he never let his technique drop, which weakened him in the process, and he let his guard down, which allowed Megumi's father to strike him at his weakest. And as he was just saying, if I had taken it down any sooner, you would have released your technique, so it would have given you time to notice me again when I showed up. So you would only release it at the last minute, and you are too tired. So I had to keep it running for as long as possible. So crafty, but now that's making me think maybe that's where Geto kind of learned it from? Maybe, perhaps.
こいつ何かおかしいと思ったら重力が全くない。
Zero cast energy.
フィジカルギフテッド。
Ah, the heavenly pat's coming into play again. And then he has a son that has ridiculously sought after techniques to the point that Sukuna's like, I want Megami. Oh, that smirk though. Megami's dad's a piece of work, isn't he?
そのジュグが虎の子か。残念。寄らせねえよ。
What?
あいつに巻きついてる呪霊。そっちの気配を追えばいい。
This is insane.
それにしても
He is quick.
術式順天、出力最大
Holy shit, the animation though.
Oh!
Wow. Insane.
森に隠れたか。あれは妖刀
Oh my god.
あの呪霊の中に飼ってたのか。これじゃあいつの位置がわからん。資格持ってきた。
This is daunting.
もう一度青で。いや、待て。あいつの狙いは合わない。
おお。
手ぶらの俺の気取る勘の良さ。このジムから滲み出る異質な呪力を陸眼のお前が見落とすわけがねえ。だがようやく術式頼りの守りに回ったな。
What the f-
特級呪具天の逆鉾。その効果発動中の術式強制解除。
Even his?
勘が戻ったかな。
Oh my god, there's so much blood. How the hell does he survive this? What? They really just kind of humbled us there because we've seen how powerful Gojo is, right? We've seen how difficult it is for people to even get a hit on him because with his infinity technique, they can't even get close. And then we just saw him absolutely get his shit wrecked there. That's not to say he's not going to make a comeback, but the fact that this can cut through any technique, even Gojo's, shows that Gojo isn't beyond being vulnerable, isn't beyond also feeling weak himself. So I think that's what shifts his perspective, is he finally knows what it means to feel vulnerable. He's never experienced that. He's never been seen as weak. He's only ever had people talk about how strong he is. You know, people travel to the Gojo clan to see the child born with the 6-eye technique, you know? He's this marvel, he's this rarity, and he's never had a normal experience, a normal childhood in a sense. So you can understand where this ego comes from. If you're constantly told for the whole of your life that you're so strong, so powerful, that you begin to believe it and you think that no one can really get to you, especially because of how he does overcome everything with ease. This has shown him that not even he can see everything, not even he can overcome this heavenly spear that can cut through any technique. He didn't know this existed. And now his vulnerabilities have been shown to him. His weaknesses have been shown to him. So that's going to cut the ego down a peg. He still has an ego, is Gojo. But I think this is the wake-up call that he's never had. That even he's vulnerable. That even he can die. This is probably how we get the Gojo we see in season 1, which is the Gojo that does understand that their role is to protect those weaker than themselves. But I think to understand the need to be strong to protect the weak, you need to have experienced for yourself what it means to be weak, which Gojo never has until now. Insane! Insane! Fuck. How he survives is beyond me, because there's so much blood. Oh. She really doesn't want to do this. She can't witness it. Oh. That will never change. This is heartbreaking. I think this also causes a shift in him, because we're supposed to protect people, and yet here we are, sacrificing this girl, taking her away from everyone she knows and loves. What duty is this, you know?
天元様の膝元国内主要結界の規定厚生宮 本殿。
Like, it may serve a purpose, but I think it might spring some doubt in his mind.
廊下まで天元様が守ってくれる。それか引き返して黒井さんと一緒に家に帰ろう。
He's willing to
担任
watch
か
it
ら
all
この任務の
collapse.
話を聞かされた時、あの人は廊下を抹消と言った。
Yeah.
あれはそれだけ罪の意識を持てということだ。うちの担任は脳筋のくせによく回りくどいことをする。君と会う前にサトルとの話し合いは済んでる。
They weren't going to erase her.
聖書隊のガキが同化を拒んだ時、その時は同化なし。
They're never going to force someone to do it.
天元様と戦うことになるかもしれないよ。
And
大丈夫。なんとかなるって。
私たちは最強なんだ。リコちゃんがどんな選択をしようと、
they don't want to carry that sin on their soul.
みんなとは違うって言われ続けて、私にとっては特別が普通で、危ないことはなるべく避けてこの日のために生きてきた。お母さんとお父さんがいなくなった時のこと、
Is she going to do it because she feels it's her duty?
悲しくも寂しくもない。どんなに辛くたっていつか悲しくも寂しくもなくなるって。
There's so many experiences you'll lose. Yeah. I was worried for a minute. I thought she might.
帰ろう、リコちゃん。
Oh.
はい、お疲れ。解散、解散。
なんでお前がここにいる？
What? The
なんだ
actual.
って。ああ。
Oh my
そういう意味。
god.
五条悟は俺が殺した。
So, what do you mean you killed Gojo? It's bad enough that you killed Rika. Oh my god. I didn't see that coming. I should have. Poor Rika. She didn't deserve that. Gojo's not dead.
焦んなよ。この時期から術師は忙しくなるし、今高専には妖刀が溢れている。外はてんやわんやさ。磁力のない俺は透明人間みたいなもんだ。
He can slip through.
でも一つ問題があってな。
This is how he knows about the gaps for Mahito to infiltrate. That was cool as fuck.
話の続きだ。俺は物を格納できる呪霊を飼っててな。ジグはそっちに入れて持ち歩いてる。
What?
皆まで言うな。
So he can continue to be
それじゃ今度は
invisible.
呪霊の磁力で透明じゃなくなっちまうってんだろ。呪霊に自らの体を格納させてサイズを落とす。それを俺の腹の中にしまう。
Which acts as a shield, right? Yeah.
これで俺はあらゆる呪具を携帯したまま結界を素通りできる。
What? That's fucking wild.
なぜ厚生宮へ続く扉が分かった？私たちは毛ほども残影を残さなかった。
人間が残す痕跡は残影だけじゃねえ。集積、足跡、五感も呪縛で底上げされてんだよ。
Oh.
途中に女性が一人いたはずだ。彼女はどうした？
Oh, he didn't kill her, did he?
多分死んでる。
Oh,
生かす気も
what?
殺す気もなかったけどな。運良きゃ生きてんじゃね。
そうか。やはりお前は死ね。
Ooh. He's a piece of work, man. Kinda glad Megumi's nothing like his dad. Like, damn. He's cool as fuck, but he's a piece of shit. We kind of knew that from season 1, though.
最高高度の交流だぞ。
And he just sliced through it like it was nothing. Oh, poor dragon. What?
仮想音量。質問に答えるまで、お互いに不可侵を強制する簡易領域か。ここはあえて、
No.
趣味じゃねえ。
You're not my type. Oh.
そういう感じね。
What the f...
バカが。終わりだな。
お前がな。呪霊操術。放牧した呪霊を取り込み、自在に操る術式。
He's like, that's mine now.
能力は特殊だが、呪霊自体は強くない。取り込める。武器庫は抑えた。あとは物量でゴリ。
Whoa. How do they both survive this?
「術師なら死なねえ程度に切った。式神使いなら殺したが、呪霊操術となるとな。
Not worth his
お前
time.
の死後、取り込んでた呪霊がどうなるかはわからん。親に恵まれたな。
Because he's absorbed them, so...
その恵まれたお前らが、呪術も使えねえ俺みたいな猿に負けたってこと、長生きしたきゃ忘れんな。恵みって、そうだった。
Speaking of blessings,
俺が名付けたんだ。
my son.
ほらよ。
Oh.
聖書体、天内理子の遺体、5体フルセットだ。
多少色もつけよう。
さすが教祖様、太っ腹だね。
教祖じゃねえよ。
ああ、
必要経費とはいえ、かなり協力してもらったのにか。むしろごねられると思ったぜ。
私たちはダメ元で君に暗殺を依頼した。様々な越権を許されている術師も、原則非術師には手を出せないからね。だが時が来てしまった。経典に示されたタブー、絶対的一神教へとなり果てた万世教、その対象である天元様と汚れの動画を見過ごせば解が立ち行かなくなる。かといって行動が過ぎれば術師に潰される。もうやけくそだったのだよ、我々は。失うはずだった全てが今や手中にある。財布の紐も緩むというもの。
He's like, I didn't ask.
天元が暴走すれば立ち行かなくなるのは人間社会かもし
They
れない。
don't care. It bolsters their religious organization.
星とともに落ちるのならばやむなし。
It was on the verge of collapse because Tengen hadn't simulated. So they needed to get rid of him being able to reverse his... I don't know if reverse is the right word or if it's rewrite his technique.
俺言ったよな。適当に遠く連れてって適当に殺せ。
あの時お前のプランがなんとなく理解できたからな。メイド救出失敗の緊張より成功の緩みの方が削りとしてでかいと判断した。
その金で飯食おう。接待に使ってる店連れてけよ。
やだよ、お前男におごんねえじゃん。
Only women. Oh! And you thought he was dead. He's not dead. He's pissed.
マジか。
Like, what
おーマジ
the fuck?
元気ピンピンだよ。
反転術式。
お前に喉ぶち抜かれた時、反撃は諦めて反転術式に全神経を注いだ。重力は負のエネルギー。肉体の強化はできても再生することはできない。だから負のエネルギー同士を掛け合わせて正のエネルギーを生む。
Which can be used to heal yourself?
言うはやすし、俺も今までできたことねえよ。だが死に際で掴んだ重力の確信。お前の敗因は俺を首ちょんぱしなかったことと、頭をぶっ刺すのにあの呪具を使わなかったこ
Oh.
と。
You've enlightened him.
勝負はこれからだろう。
ああ、そうか。
He's seen the light quite literally. Oh. He thought Gojo was menacing before, damn. Whole nother level.
術式反転。バカ。
It's so funny that he had an enlightened moment the same way that Mahito did on the verge of death.
化け物が。
It's the way he was protecting his cursed spirit though. He had his like hand on his head.
1、止める力。ニュートラルな無加減呪術。2、引き寄せる力。強化した無加減呪術。青。そして3、弾く力。
Red.
術式反転赤。
Red and blue, purple.
すべて問題なし。
He says he can handle it, but what about when he combines them?
違和感。
Yeah, something's really off.
いや、これでいい。
Is it fine?
殺す。
Oh. He's on a different plane of existence right now.
ごめん、あまない。俺は今、お前のために怒ってない。誰も憎んじゃいない。今はただただ、この世界が心地いい。
Like he's experiencing it for the first time.
代々伝わる送電の術式のメリットは取説があること。デメリットは術式の情報が漏れやすいこと。あんた、全員家の人間だろう。無加減呪術のことはよく知ってるわけだ。だがこれは、五条家の中でもごく一部の人間しか知らない。
Oh, wow.
順転と反転。それぞれの無限を衝突させることで生成される
Purple.
仮想の質量を押し出す。挙式。
Hollow purple.
違和感。
Yep.
ただ働きなんてごめんだね。いつもの俺ならそう言ってとんずらこいた。だが、目の前には覚醒した無加減呪術の使い手。おそらく現代最強となった術師。
You had to take him down.
ねじ伏せてみたくなった。俺を否定した全員家。呪術界。
To show how strong and capable he is.
自分を肯定するために。
Yeah.
いつもの自分を曲げちゃった。その時点で負けていた。
Holy fuck. Jujutsu sorcerers survive like the craziest of injuries.
他人も尊ぶことない。そういう生き方を選んだんだろうが。
最後に言い残すことはあるか？
ねえよ。
His son.
2、3年もしたら、俺のガキが全員家に売られる。好きにしろ。
He thinks his dad ran away, but his dad died. He doesn't know that Gojo killed his dad, but Gojo obviously feels responsible for Megami. Enough so that he stopped the sale. Oh, stop. That's so sad.
遅かったな、スグル。サトルだよ。
He's not dead.
何が
He's ascended.
俺がしくった。お前は悪くない。戻ろう。スグル、こいつら殺すか？
It's very tempting, isn't it?
何も感じない。見たところ、ここには一般教徒しかいない。
Not those that arranged for this to happen.
懸賞金と違って、もうこの状況は言い逃れできない。もともと問題のあった団体だ。
But they both want revenge for what happened to Rika.
意味ね。それ、本当に必要か？
Oh, he's gonna do it, isn't he?
大事なことだ。特に、術師。
No, but you can see that darkness growing inside of him. That frustration that this is what he has to do. Yeah, it's about making a distinction that you can't just do things for no reason, especially when it comes to taking lives. And they can't harm civilians. That kind of goes against everything they stand for. They're supposed to protect the weak, but this is kind of really grating at Ghetto. You can see the darkness kind of emerging from him with the blue. It's kind of mingling, and it's like this gulf, dark void is brewing inside everything he's just witnessed, the death of this poor girl, and for what? It feels so pointless. And yet he can't even exact his anger and revenge on those that he feels deserves it. But then there's no point because these are just common believers and they haven't even access to ones that have masterminded all this. But it's infuriating. It's frustrating. He's like, this isn't what I signed up for. I wanted to protect people. And yet, even when I tried to protect someone, they ended up dying anyway. It's like, what is the point of all this? It's like he's beginning to question why he's a jujutsu sorcerer, why he's even in this role to begin with. It's weighing on him, on his soul. It's similar to sort of the internal conflict that Itadori felt, you know, between taking a life and not taking a life.
術式対象の自動選択か。
そう。正確に言うと、術式対象は俺だけど、今までマニュアルでやってたのをオートマにした。重力の強弱だけじゃなく、質量、速度、形状からも物体の危険度を選別できる。
He's like, ah, makes it easier.
これなら最小限のリソースで無加減呪術をほぼ
Without weakening him, he's learned.
自己保管の範疇で反転術式も回し続ける。いつでも新鮮な脳を
He's like, I fought this all through, it's fine.
赤と青、それぞれの複数同時発動もぼちぼち。
Ow, jeez.
課題は領域と長距離の瞬間移動かな。
I mean, he can do domain expansion with 2 fingers that kind of look like infinity. It's crazy.
サトルは最強になった。
すぐる、ちょっと痩せた。大丈夫か？
No, he's not okay. He's exhausted. He's losing faith.
その夏は忙しかった。
Do you think the regret that they feel is not noticing what was weighing on him sooner, that they didn't intervene when he needed support and help over and over?
吐砂物を処理した雑巾を丸飲みしているような。誰のために？
Who am I doing this for? Yeah, he's lost faith. He's like, what's the point of this? Why am I suffering and punishing myself for this when the people I want to protect end up dying anyway?
知った上で、私は術師として人々を救う選択をしてきたはずだ。
Don't waver. Keep going. But when humanity is as ugly as this, why would you want to protect them?
ブレるな。術師としての責任を
Which makes sense as to why he wants to flip the dynamic, erase the humanity that currently exists, because he finds them heinous and reprehensible. Clapping for the death of an innocent girl. Like it was something to be proud of.
サルメ。
I really love that this is making us empathize with Ghetto, giving us a deeper insight into why he went down the path that he did. He lost sight of what it was all for, the point of it. Oh, he's so tired.
サトルも食べるかもしれないから甘いのかな。
He's thinking of Gojo.
呪術師やっていけそうか。辛くないか。
自分はあまり物事を深く考えないたちなので、自分にできることを精一杯頑張るのは気持ちがいいです。
そうか。そうだな。
But he can't give it his all anymore.
君がゲトウ君どんな女がタイプかな
Ah! It's the girl that gave it to Toto.
自分はたくさん食べる子が好きです
She was the one that recognized Toto. And then he stole that from her and then, like,
人を見る目には自信があります
uses it as a judge of
私の
character
隣に座って
test.
おいてか。まずはあなたが答えてくださいよ。どちら様？
特級術師つくもゆきって言えばわかる
Yuki.
か
Okay.
あなたが
お
Her.
いいね
You are
な
her.
んだの
特急のくせに任務を全く受けず、海外をプラプラしているろくでなし。
She's like, that's not what I wanted to hear.
冗談でも光線と方針が合わないのは本当ここの人たちがやってるのは対症療法
Not the root of the problem.
原因療法？
呪霊を狩るんじゃなくて呪霊の生まれない世界を作ろうよってことそもそも呪霊とは何かな
Okay.
人間から漏出した呪力が檻のように積み重なり、
It can't be born if humanity doesn't exist, right?
1全人類から呪力をなくす2全人類に呪力のコントロールを可能にさせる1はね結構いい線いくと思ったんだモデルケースもいたしね全員当時天与呪縛によって呪力が一般人並みになるケースはいくつか見てきたけど呪力が完全にゼロなのは世界中探しても彼一人だった彼を研究したかったが振られてしまってね惜しい人を亡くしたよ天与呪縛はサンプルも少ないし私の今の本命は2だね
Well, we've got
全
Maki.
人類に呪力のコントロールを
And
可能にさせる
Makimura, I think, has a heavenly pact as well.
知ってる術師からは呪霊は生まれないんだよ
Sorry, let me just go back slightly. Making it possible for all of humanity to control their cursed energy. Okay.
もちろん術師本人が死後呪いに転ずるのを除いてね術師は呪力の漏出が非術師に比べ極端に少ない術式講師による呪力の消費量やキャパの差もあるけど一番は流れだね術師の呪力は本人の中をよく回る
So they can limit
大雑
its
把に言ってし
leak,
まうと
essentially.
全人類が術師になれば呪いは生まれない
じゃあ、非術師を皆殺しにすればいいじゃないですか。
Oh!
いや、
He's like, so basically, just get rid of anyone
そ
that's
れが一
not
番イージーだ
a Jujutsu
非
sorcerer.
術師を間引き続け生存戦略として術師に適応してもらう要は進化を促すの鳥たちが翼を得たように
So
恐怖や危機感を
eugenics.
使ってね
I
だって
mean,
残念ながら
they see it as
私はそこまで
evolution,
いかれ
but
てない
she says, I'm not crazy enough to do that. Geto sat there like, bet. So that's why he's working with the cursed spirits because it suits his purpose of wiping out all non-jujutsu sorcerers so that eventually they can create a world where everyone's a jujutsu sorcerer. Everyone has the capacity to control and maintain their cursed energy, eliminating the need for cursed spirits to exist, eliminating the need for him to continue this rinse repeat disgusting job that he no longer has faith in because it prevented him from being able to protect someone that truly needed it.
非術師は嫌いかいゲトウ君
Oh yeah. The
わ
clapping,
からないんです。
the masses celebrating the death of a young girl.
非術師を見下す自分、それを否定する自分。術師というマラソンゲーム。その果て
He's
のビジョンが
conflicted.
あまりに曖昧で、何が本音かわからない。
非術師を見下す君それを否定する君これらはただの思考された可能性だどちらを本音にするのかは君が
Choose the path you wanna
これから選
follow.
択するんだよ本当は五条君にも挨拶したかったけど間が悪かったようだこれからは特級同士3人仲良くしよう
Ooh,
サトルには私から言って
famous
おき
last
ます
words because, I
あ
mean,
そうだ最後に
we've only ever
聖
seen
書
her
体
in
のことは気に
glimpses.
しなくていいあの時もう一人別の聖書体がいたかすでに新しい聖書体が生まれたのかどちらにせよ天元は安定しているよ
I mean, that wasn't what he was worrying about. He wasn't worried about Tengen. He was worried about Rika, you know? She never got to have a life and experience what life had to offer. Because we never see her again in season 1, bar that interaction with Todo.
今はとにかく休め。
Naname.
任務はサトルが引き継いだ。
Oh.
もうあの人一人でよくないですか。
Oh, the frustration and the exhaustion of being sent on missions that they're not able to overcome because it's beyond their level. They're just treated like fodder in the machine, that they're disposable in order to protect non-sorcerers. You can understand 110% where Gero is coming from. And I think that's what I'm loving about this movie, is it's giving us more perception into him. He's not evil for the plain purpose of just wanting to erase humanity. Has very good reasons for why he's so jaded and angry and why he wants to work with the cursed spirits that he's come into contact with. It makes so much sense. And then we're seeing Naname, you know, from season 1, where he's talking about how he learned the world wasn't logical and fair. He's witnessed the death of someone that he was very close to, a school classmate that he was on a mission with, similar to how Megami witnessed the death of Itadori. So we're seeing Naname become jaded of his sense of the world being shifted and changed, and now this version of Naname is what we see in season 1, but more grown up. This is how he became the Naname that we've seen.
術師というマラソンゲーム。その果てにあるのが
Then what's the point? Why do they keep doing this? There has to be another way. Why should we have to sacrifice our friends and comrades for those that he feels don't deserve to be protected?
これは何ですか？
何とは？この二人が一連の事件の原因でしょう。
違います。
Shouldn't involve Tokyo High, third year, Ghetto, so this is him in his final year. 1 detailed incident report, time of incident, September 23rd, 2007, around 9 p.m. Location of incident, prefecture, city, formerly village. Discovery of incident, the student assigned to the mission, Ghetto, was late to return, so the assistant supervisor headed to the site of the mission and discovered it. 5 days had passed since Ghetto was dispatched. Damage report, 112 residents of former village confirmed dead. Summary of Ghetto's assigned mission: investigate former village. Legends within the village pass down tales of people being spirited away. However, the client reports that there have occasionally been bizarre deaths among the villagers, and Jujutsu's high investigations confirm this. We predict an 80% likelihood of a cursed spirit causing them. So Ghetto was tasked with further investigation on site and elimination of the target cursed spirit.
この二人は頭がおかしい。不思議な力で村人をたびたび襲うのです。
私の孫もこの二人に殺されかけたことがあります。それは違う。黙りなさい、化け物め。あなたたちの親もそうだった。やはり殺しておくべきだった。
非術師を見下す君、それを否定する君、どちらを本音にするのかは。
皆さん、一旦外に出ましょうか。
He's trying to calm himself, but he can't. His true feelings. Because this village is never going to stop. The cursed energy is just going to keep happening and happening. The anger and the manifestation of negativity. He's like, oh, I'll wipe you all out. Oh, wow. His departure. 112 residents of the village were killed, after which a fire. By the time Jujutsu High investigated on September 23rd, investigations confirmed that all 112 were residuals revealed to be the work of Ghetto's curse manipulation. Sentenced to death. Did they send Gojo to do it?
聞こえてますよ。ただ結婚と残影からおそらく両親も手にかかる。なわけねえだろ！サトル、俺も何が何だかわからんのだ。
Oh, poor Gojo. He's like, I find it hard to believe.
Yeah.
犯罪者じゃん。何かよ。
It's the criminal!
冤罪だったりする？
No.
ないね。残念ながら。
重ねて一応。なんで？
I love that she's not running from him because they're friends.
どうせ誰も理解してくれないって腐るのも、それなりに子供だと思うけど。あ、五条？
Is this his way of saying goodbye to Shoko and Gojo?
やだよ。殺されたくないもん。
She's like, I'm not facing them. It's up to you. But Gojo obviously lets him live, lets him go.
説明しろ。すぐる。
Can't bring himself to kill him.
翔子から聞いただろ。それ以上でも以下でもないさ。
だから、術師以外殺すってか。親も。
それにもう私の家族はあの人たちだけ
He
じゃ
has to lead by
聞
example.
いてね。意味ない殺しはしねえんじゃなかったのか？
意味はある。意義もね。
非術師殺して術師だけの世界を作る？無理に決まってんだろ！できもしねえことをせこせこやんの！
Not if he
意味ねえっつん
forces
だ
people
よ！
to evolve. In his mind, it's evolution.
自分にできることを人にはできやしないと言い聞かせるのか。君は五条悟だから最強なのか、最強だから五条悟なのか。もし私が君になれるのなら、この馬鹿げた理想も地に足がつくと思わないか。生き方は決めた。あとは自分にできることを精一杯やるさ。
This is so sad. He can't do it.
殺したければ殺せ。
He can't.
それには意味がある。
Of course he can't. That's like Megami trying to kill Itadori. It's not gonna happen. They do say Jujutsu sorcerers are full of regret. Now we're gonna see why.
先生、俺強いよね。
生意気にも。
Brazenly so, yeah.
俺だけ強くてもダメらしいよ。俺が救えるのは他人に救われる準備があるやつだけだ。
万世教は解体されたはずだが。
別の団体でも根っこは同じさ。やか。
He's here to wipe them out.
金が集められれば何でもいいさ。
本当にその格好で出るのか？
いいだろう。はったりは大事だ。
So has he brought these little girls with him? Has he basically adopted them as like his children?
それでは手短に。今この瞬間からこの団体は私のものです。
Oh, okay.
そうだ。園田さん、よろしければ壇上へ。
Well, if you don't follow me, this is what's gonna happen.
さて、改めて。猿は嫌い。私に従え。それが私の選んだ本音。猿ども。
Oh, damn.
伏黒めぐみくんだよね。
あんた誰っていうか、何その顔。
そっくりだなと。ところで君のお父さんさ、全員っていう呪術師の家系なんだけど。
I wonder if he'll ever tell Megami that he killed his dad.
君を作ったってわけ。自分の力にも気づいてるんじゃない？全員家は才能大好き。術式を自覚するのがだいたい4から6歳。バイバイのタイミングとしてはベターだよね。めぐみくんはさ、君のお父さんが全員家に対して取っておいた最高のカードだったんだよ。ムカつくでしょ。で、そのお父さんなんだけど、
He did try to tell him and then he went, nah. He cut him off. He was gonna tell him that he killed his dad.
積み木の母親も少し前から帰ってない。もう俺たちは用済みで、二人でよろしくやってるってことだろ。
お父さんのこと知りたくなったらいつでも聞いて。よっくらした。
Wonder if he ever does. I don't think he ever felt the need.
全員家行きたい？
I was gonna say, it doesn't seem like Gojo would run away from the truth.
ない。100% ない。それは断言できる。
So why would he go then? That's why he doesn't go.
オッケー。あとは任せなさい。でもめぐみくんには多少無理してもらうかも。頑張ってね。強くなってよ。僕に置いていかれないくらい。
He says like she won't find happiness, and then he's like, well, then I'm not going, am I? Like, why the fuck would I go? He just wants his sister to be happy, and then obviously he feels more of a need and an urge to achieve becoming a jujutsu sorcerer and a capable and powerful one in order to save his sister from the curse that she's in a coma from. So it kind of all goes hand in hand, but he still had to become a jujutsu sorcerer because of the collateral, because Gojo stopped him from being sold.
先生も寝るんだな。お、起きた。
ちょっとその椅子
He's
高い
like,
やつ
why are
でし
you
ょ
pestering me?
家にしないでくださいよ。何笑ってんすか。
ついてない。はい、どう言って。はい
別に
They remind him of him, Geto, and Shoko, the bond that they established together. That's so sad. Graduation ceremony, and he's not there with them. There's a space missing where he should be. There's a hole in Gojo's heart. You know what I love in these images? There's a gap where Geto should be. It's so tragic. Look at Naname! I love the way that it's drawn. You know, it's obviously their camera phones. Camera phones. I sound so old. They're obviously taking photos on their phones, but it's the blurred effect and the way that it feels very like realistic of teenagers taking photos that I love. But the fact they have constant photos of each other, is it weird to ship them? It almost feels like they love one another. Like, they take so many photos together or of each other. No wonder he couldn't kill him. How could he? After all the moments they've shared together. How much can change in such a short space of time? That was heart-wrenching. But I loved it because it really humanizes Geto and it gives us more context because obviously in season 1, he's sort of this enigma. We don't really know anything about him. Everything I've kind of pieced together has been theory crafting, has been looking at the dialogue, being like, why is he so obsessed with Gojo? Why does he know so much about the school? Why does he know so much about Gojo and his abilities and his strength and his weaknesses? Because they were friends. They were students together. You know, he went to this school, he was training, but ended up not going down on this path because for him, what's the point? He lost faith in the system, the structure as a whole. Why is he protecting those weaker than himself when they don't care that they have to sacrifice themselves in the process? If protecting those weaker in society and his mind is paved with the corpses of him and his friends, why would he want a society built on that? Why would he want to pave the way for the masses to celebrate the death of a girl like Rika that didn't deserve it on the backs of him and other jujutsu sorcerers, his friends, his comrades? But it makes sense now as to what happened to Megami's dad. Gojo killed him. Gojo did try to tell him, but he was very much like, I don't really care. And then he did say, you know, if you ever want to know about your dad, you can tell me. So it's very evident that Toji is insecure about being born with no curse energy. Obviously, he has this heavenly pact, incredible strength, very similar to Maki. Pretty much identical. They're both from the Zenin clan with a heavenly pact that gives them like superhuman strength. So pretty much similar. Slightly different, but similar. And from what we know, the Zenin clan, he's probably looked at as a failure because he doesn't have the technique. He doesn't have the ability to distinguish himself as strong, and therefore he wants revenge against the Zenin clan. He wants to prove himself, again, similar to Maki. Maki is wanting to show them that they're wrong in their perception of not only women not having the ability to be leaders, but that she can't be the leader of the Zenin clan because she has no curse energy. That women are just as capable of being jujutsu sorcerers, and she's just as capable of leading the Zenin clan, curse energy or no curse energy. So it's interesting the dynamic that we have two figures that have basically turned their back on the Zenin clan for similar reasons, that both are impacted by the Heavenly Pact. Both of them have felt as if they are looked down upon by the Zenin clan. Both of them have something to prove. So Megami was initially Toji's way of getting back at the Zenin clan. He was the weapon to maybe destroy the Zenin clan because of the abilities that he was born with. And then it got to a point where, you know, he's like, I can make money off of selling my son because they want him that badly. They can pay for him. And yeah, it's a really fucking shitty thing to do. He's a shit dad. But it's still sad that Megami thought his dad had just abandoned them. I mean, pretty much went out for milk and never came home, didn't he? But still, the fact that he doesn't know he actually died is kind of tragic. But if he's not asked Gojo in all these years, he really doesn't seem to mind too much about what happened to his dad. As he said, like, I barely remember him. But maybe this is sort of a topic that will come up at some point. Gojo was straight up about to be blunt and tell this small child, I killed your dad. Like, he has no chill whatsoever. It's so funny, but it's just tragic. It really is, because I knew that Gojo was going to have a change in perception, but I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen with Geto. So we already had the conflict of philosophy. So we knew there was going to be a change in both of their mentalities. I maybe should have spoken more about Geto when I first paused, but I think my focus was more on Gojo because Gojo's personality is so like abrasive and this perception of himself is very egotistical. And whilst we still have a very, you know, blunt, egotistic version of Gojo in season 1, it's nothing in comparison to younger Gojo in the movie. So I wanted to more so focus on Gojo, whereas I probably should have mentioned Geto. So I'm going to mention Geto now, but they both had conflicting philosophies. But this was when Geto still bought into the idea that his position as a sorcerer was to protect those weaker in society, that's what they're there for. That's their job. That's what they're designed to do. But he couldn't even protect Rika. He couldn't protect the one girl that they were tasked to look after. They were giving her the opportunity to live her life. They were going to risk the anger from Tenon, the potential retribution, because they didn't want to carry the weight of forcing a girl that didn't want to assimilate to be erased. They didn't want that burden on their soul. So then to see these people cheering over her death, to see these people glorifying in it as if it's something to be celebrated, when they wiped out a life that never truly got to live, somebody that genuinely was pure-hearted and good and kind, how could that not push you to the brink of questioning everything you thought you knew? And that's what it did for Geto. And I think Gojo also questioned things. You know, like he had that moment where he was like, should we just wipe them all out? Should we just do it? These people, they don't deserve to live. Look at what they're doing. These are the people that we're tasked with protecting. This doesn't make sense. Why are we protecting people like this? They're horrible. And then Geto's like, we can't, because again, the fundamental task is not to harm non-jujutsu sorcerers. They're not supposed to kill non-jujutsu sorcerers. But he gets to a point where like it's just too much. You know, in that moment, you see sort of the blue aura being engulfed by the black void. It was almost as if that's the beginning, the spark of his descent, but he's not there yet. So we see him reassuring himself of there's no point. There's no point to it. We have to have a point for what we do. Otherwise, why are we jujutsu sorcerers? He's like, we have to make the distinction when it comes to killing, because, you know, once you start going down that path, there's not really any way of coming back, which is sort of why Itadori in season 1 is so intent on this idea of a good death. He doesn't want to kill someone unless he can guarantee a good death. But as Naname said, that's a very idealistic perspective, because there is no guarantee, there is no way to determine how someone dies. You know, good people die horrible deaths like Rika, and bad people die good deaths. You know, it's not fair. Life isn't fair. And that's what Naname is trying to get through to Itadori, is like, you know, life isn't fair. All we can do is our best. But then to see Geto beginning to be like, I have two paths in front of me and I don't know which one is right. only to be told that you have to pick the one you have the most faith in. And then we see when he goes to that village, the exasperation, the frustration at seeing how this cycle just repeats itself. He's already got rid of the cursed spirit, but he's seeing it reborn. He's seeing it birthed out again from the way they're berating these two young girls, saying that they should have killed them at birth, that they're like these bad omens because they're twins. So I'm presuming they're twins because at birth would presume they were both born at the same time. So they've blamed these two girls as twins as being the root source of all these issues in the village, and Geto sees that that's not going to change. So why is he here? What's the point? And then that's when he decides, well, fuck you all, I'm going to wipe you all out. But he saved the two girls. He saved them, and it looks like he's raising them as his own. So that's particularly interesting that he is showing that he's not completely heartless. He does have a heart. He did this to protect, in his mind, these two girls that were weaker. So some of his philosophy still exists. Yes, he's still intent on this idea of killing all non-jujutsu sorcerers. So he obviously sees something in these girls. He's also using the organization to his advantage. So they're non-sorcerers that are following him, but he needs the money and the power and the operation headquarters that come from it. He's seeing the power of what can emerge when you corrupt the masses, and eventually either they'll all become jujutsu sorcerers or he'll dispose of them all and only keep the ones that are. He needs a mode of operation. As much as, I don't believe in wiping out non-jujutsu sorcerers, I can empathize with Geto. I can see why he has that mentality, why he thinks the world would be a better place, because in his mind, and I mean, it is logically correct that if all of humanity became jujutsu sorcerers, there would be no cursed spirits. There would be nothing for him to consume and be forced to taste that vileness time and time again, to see the worst of humanity manifest into these spirits, to experience it by consuming them into his own body. He wouldn't have to go through that pain and suffering anymore because he's the only one that can fucking taste them, and it's foul. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And also he doesn't want to build a path to protecting people built on the corpses of his friends, of the people he cares about, of the people that he knows deserve to live in his mind more than anyone else, that they shouldn't have to die to protect the weak. So there is an aspect of him that still aligns with this idea of protecting those weaker than himself, but then there's the other aspect of society needs to be purified, because in purifying society, we erase cursed spirits entirely. There's no need for them anymore, because humanity will be able to control and maintain the cursed energy, because everyone will be jujutsu sorcerers. It's just fascinating, again, because of his departure, the idealism that quickly turns into pessimism and just complete detraction from the organization, just decides point blank, I don't want to be part of this structure anymore. I don't want to sacrifice myself for people that I don't believe are worth sacrificing. Why should I have to risk dying for the worst of humanity, essentially, is what he believes, because he's seeing the worst of humanity. He's seeing it getting worse. He's seeing more and more cursed spirits showing up. It's rinse and repeat for him, time and time again. Excise, consume, excise, consume. He's sick of the cycle. He wants to break the cycle. He wants to destroy it entirely. And the only way to do that is to start getting rid of those that are creating the cycle to begin with. So again, as much as I don't believe just wiping out the majority of humanity is a good thing, I can empathize and understand where he's coming from, why he believes that that's the solution, why he wants to create a world in which friends and comrades and people that he loves and cares for and admires don't have to die for those that don't give a shit about the sacrifice that they've had to make in order to protect the masses. And he hears that clapping in his head, and it's such a haunting sound. He's like, this is what we are risking our lives for. This is what we're dying for, is people like this. People who are celebrating the death of an innocent girl. This is what humanity is. I don't want a fucking part of it. they can all die. They can all just get the fuck out of here. I think the most standout moment for me was, well, not the most standout moment, but one of the moments that I thought was just absolutely jaw-droppingly beautiful was the aquarium scene. And I think it was because it really plays into not only the beauty of experiencing it for the first time for Rika, but also the fact that Rika, like those fish, like the whale sharks, is also trapped. She's under observation. She is a vessel for Tengen. That's her destiny, is to be consumed by him. And yes, she's embraced it, but not fully knowing what it would entail. She thought part of her would live on, but it's not the truth. She'd be completely erased. Everything she knew and loved would be gone. And it's just heartbreaking that she would never get to experience a normal life. She had that opportunity. She was about to be able to walk away only for Toji to ruin it all. I also loved seeing the ascension of Gojo, that in the moment of death, he unlocked a part of himself that he didn't realize was there. There was an enlightenment. And, you know, he's been basked in the light. It's a very obvious symbolism, especially when he's saying, you know, throughout heaven and earth, I alone am the honored one. You know, he's playing into the whole, I am the strongest of the strong, you should fear me. But I think it's very evident that, like Mahito, being on the cusp of death unlocks an aspect of yourself. It unlocks a part of you that is spiritually was maybe closed off, because in being pushed to the brink of death, Mahito was able to unlock his domain expansion. In Gojo being pushed to death, he's able to actually, you know, float in the air and use his reverse curse techniques that he had been practicing but were never like fully formulated. They kept failing, but we see him fully bring them into reality, that they are effortless to him. And then, you know, after that, we have the full extent of his enlightenment. You know, everything is so effortless to him. He's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. You know, he's looking very healthy and happy and proud of himself. He's not weighed down and burdened in the same way that Geto is. And I feel like, as much as there's love between the two of them, I think there's maybe some resentment from Geto that he's suffering so much over what happened with Rika. He's not experiencing the same enlightenment that Gojo is, but rather a descent. He's constantly like bathed in shadows. He's walking down stairs quite a lot in the latter half, showing this like descent, this inability for him to see the light, to come back. He is venturing into the depths of what his new mission in life is to be. There was also the fact that, you know, the only person that was like referring to themselves as monkey was Toji. But then all of a sudden, Geto also starts using the terminology monkey to refer to non-jujutsu sorcerers, which is quite an interesting terminology, that he doesn't even see them as people. He sees them as something below humanity. They're not even fully evolved to be classified as humans. That's how low he sees them. That's how low he puts them in the pecking order. But I thought that was quite fascinating, that like he's taken that word and ran with it. He's looked at Toji's sort of psychological reference to not being accepted and rejected by the Zenin clan because of his lack of technique, and that, you know, he's seen as a monkey because he has no cursed energy. But then after his death, when Geto finally goes down the full descent, he starts referring to non-jujutsu sorcerers as monkeys, similar to Toji, how Toji was referred to. So another aspect is the way that Toji helps Geto to ascend by pushing him to the brink of death. So he ascends, he benefits from that interaction. But then Geto has Toji's spirit come to him and saying, "Mommy help." And was it "Mommy help" or "Mommy hug me"? Either way, it was really sad, the little voice that came out. It was looking for comfort, it was looking for a new home. And Ghetto, I imagine, absorbed the cursed spirit. I can't imagine him not taking that opportunity. But it's the way that they both have an aspect of Toji live on with them, as in, without Toji pushing Gojo to the brink of death, Gojo never would have ascended the way that he has. But then Ghetto also gets the burden of his cursed spirit, but also the manifestation of like his hatred of the jujutsu system, that he resented it. He saw it as something that didn't deserve to exist and thrive. So he is taking the part of Toji that felt unwanted and unaccepted and carrying that on with him. Like he's carrying that burden. So it's like the passing of Toji's burden and hatred for society is now quite literally and physically with Ghetto through the absorption of this cow spirit, which is crazy. You know, we did see that at the end of season 1, the principal was talking about regrets. And the regret that Gojo and the principal feel is in not noticing the suffering that Ghetto was going through, the way that he was exhausted and tired, and the excuses that he kept making as to why he felt that way. They didn't pay enough attention to see just how worn down the poor boy was. They didn't intervene when he needed support the most, when he needed someone to listen to what he was going through. And of course, you know, you could argue, well, he didn't exactly come out and tell them, but they didn't pry either. They didn't try and support him. They didn't try and get the truth out of him. They allowed him to continue suffering in silence. And it got to the point where he couldn't anymore. And he lashed out and he burnt that village to the ground because he couldn't contain the anger and the rage and the frustration of swallowing curses time and time again, of seeing the monsters that humanity can be and what comes of them through the cursed spirits that are born from their negative emotions. He couldn't cope with the trauma of seeing someone like Rika die, who he couldn't do anything to protect. You know, he's worn down, he's at his limit, and no one tried to help him. No one tried to be there for him. No one tried to be a support network. And I think that's why Gojo couldn't do anything to Ghetto, was because he knew that deep down he failed him. He wasn't there for him. That maybe part of his regret, like the principals, is that if they had pushed a little bit more, if they tried a little harder, if they'd seen what he was going through, just how things could have been different. What would have changed? Could they have prevented all this from happening? And there's no real way of knowing. And I think that's the regret and the frustration that they feel, but also why Gojo can't do anything to Ghetto. Not only because they're friends, it's the fact that he very obviously loves him and cares for him, but at the same time, he feels responsible. I think he carries that burden in turn, that he didn't do enough for the one friend that would, well, not the one friend, he has other friends, but Ghetto's always there for him. Ghetto's always been this support network, this listening figure. Yes, of course, there's banter between them, but he's always been there for Gojo. And I feel like Gojo probably carries the weight of not being there for Ghetto when Ghetto needed him most, that he failed him in the very moment that was crucial to the direction that Ghetto would go down. And just seeing the way that he can't even get to him in the final moments. They can't be together again. They're walking down two very different paths and they're divided and separated. Gojo stood there trying to look for him and he's just walking into the crowd and disappearing into the shadows. You know, he has fundamentally divested himself from Gojo and the structure of Jujutsu sorcerers. He doesn't want to be a part of it anymore. But in doing so, they're completely separated from each other. That friendship, that love has, I don't think, been severed. I think that love will always be there. But I think next time they ever meet, Gojo won't hesitate to kill him. I think it'll be painful, but I think he knows that it's what he has to do. And I think if anyone is going to kill Geto, it would be more emotionally impactful if it's Gojo because of their relationship, of their connection. I honestly love this movie. I thought this movie was absolutely beautiful. I may have paused a lot, I do apologize, but I'm so glad that we got to see more of Geto's perspective and sort of why he's so angry at society, why he doesn't want to be associated with them. I'm curious what happened to the maid that got kidnapped because she's not dead. So that's going to be really interesting as to if she'll maybe appear again. And then that little moment at the end when they're saying to Gojo, why he's smiling, because it reminds him of Shoko himself and Geto when they were students, when they were an inseparable dynamic, and just how fragile those bonds are, how quickly they can fall apart because you never know what's going to happen. He's just broken. He's just broken under the system that doesn't work. So if the system's not going to work, then why wouldn't he just destroy it altogether? How could he not? You know, he's just completely at a loss as to how to proceed. And I don't blame him. I really don't. I can't hate him for why he goes on to do what he does. It doesn't mean I agree, but you can see how the grief and the exhaustion and this shattering of his idea of what it means to be a sorcerer, of protecting those that are weak and then seeing people applaud the death of an innocent girl, would just cause him to completely want to burn everything down, to distance himself from it entirely, to destroy these monsters. They have beaten and starved 2 children, blaming them for everything that's happened in the village that is not their fault. They hired an assassin to kill an innocent girl. He's traumatized by all the suffering he's seen at the hands of non-jujutsu sorcerers. He's seeing friends and comrades die to protect these people that don't understand the sacrifice and the personal expense that they have to go through, you know, especially with him consuming vile curses that they're literally disgusting and causing him to nearly be sick. They don't understand the sacrifice that he's making for them, but yet have the audacity to sit and applaud the death of a young girl that he had grown connected to, that he was close to. He's angry at Jujutsu society because they're sending comrades on missions that are not suitable to their grade level, resulting in a friend of theirs dying who was excited about the life that he was leading and was so energetic and passionate, only to end up dying in the process, which also led Naname to be disillusioned with society as well. The way that the society of sorcerers has just thrown them in as if they're disposable, as if their lives don't mean anything, because their main purpose is to protect humanity, is to protect those weaker than themselves. But then Ghetto's like, but at what cost? Because some of these people do not deserve to be saved. Look at what the religious organization did. They sat and clapped and celebrated the death of an innocent girl. And he was repulsed by it to the point that he was very tempted to start his villain arc then and there in getting rid of them all. And so was Gojo. They were both absolutely disgusted. And then you have the summer that's got worse, where he's spending literally every day in the hot summer sun, excising curse after curse, consuming curse after curse, all to protect people like the ones that killed Rika. So how can he not be angry? How can he not be frustrated? And then he's seeing Gojo getting stronger and stronger. Nothing seems to faze him. Nothing seems to impact him. You know, and he's feeling more isolated and alone because he talks about how like Gojo now will only go on high level missions. So they were a partnership, but they're not anymore. So Geto has to do all this himself. He has to do the dirty work because Gojo is now completely on this new separate power level. So he now doesn't even have the support of his best friend. He doesn't have anyone there to depend upon. He's going through all this suffering for, in his mind, no reason, because the people he's doing this for are the same people that would celebrate the death of an innocent, and therefore he can't value them. He can't understand what he's being made to do. And then obviously he then sees the same aspects in that village. These two young girls being mistreated, abused, beaten, locked up because they're seen as the manifestation of all evil in that village. So it just reminds him of what happened to Rika. So it's almost as if when he takes them in, when he kind of adopts them as his own, because they were seen with him looking a lot healthier, very well taken care of. So he's being a very good father figure to them. He is essentially atoning in a sense for what he couldn't save Rika from. He couldn't give Rika the chance to live her life because it was cruelly taken from her and he couldn't protect her in that moment. But with these two young girls, he almost gets a second chance to help them in the way that he couldn't help Rika. We have Geto deciding that, you know, no more. He wants to only protect sorcerers, those that he deems worthy to live in this society because they won't contribute to the production of cursed spirits because they don't leak cursed energy. Makes sense as to why he vibes so much with Mojito, because again, they very much have a similar premise of, you know, humanity is foul and they believe themselves superior as cursed spirits because they're born from the worst aspects of humanity, therefore making them the purest form and they can't be deceptive, which isn't always the case. And then you have Geto, who has gone from wanting to protect non-sorcerers to now seeing what humanity is capable of doing to sorcerers, especially to those two young girls. I think that kind of pushed him over the edge the most, was seeing the way in which these girls are blamed for everything bad, everything negative. So he's seeing sorcerers being punished literally for existing, for being themselves, that they're not treated with respect, which feels like a slap in the face considering the whole point of being a jujutsu sorcerer is to protect people like this. And then seeing how they mistreat two little girls because of their abilities when they depend so heavily on the sorcerers in order to thrive and get rid of cursed spirits that they've created because they're leaking cursed energy. No wonder he went on a rampage. No wonder he went on a rampage. I think I would have too. I think that would have broken me because again, they're innocent. He knows they're innocent. He's already got rid of the curses that were impacting the village. He's seen two young sorcerers being punished for no reason other than existing. And he's like, then why the fuck am I involved in this world? Why am I risking myself for you? Yous don't deserve it. Yous are the worst of what society has to offer. So I'm going to prioritize those that I feel deserve it, which is Jujutsu Sorcerers. Again, phenomenal movie. Really enjoyed that. Really excited for season 2. I'm kind of wondering where season 2 is going to pick up because this was a prequel. So maybe season 2 gives us a bit more context as to their origins and their background, but we shall have to see. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this react. I tried to remember to talk about as much as I could. It's very warm and I've also filmed Witch Hat Atelier. So yeah, it's been a long filming session. So I do apologize if I didn't speak about everything. Again, this is not a video essay. This is just a first time watch and I'm trying to like catch on to as much as I can. But again, there's only so much I can do, especially when I've been filming. It probably won't be 3 hours once I've cut out some of like my mistakes when I'm trying to talk, but I am now hitting the 3 hour mark and this movie was only 1 hour 45, 50. So I've been talking a lot. So thank you so much if you sat through and watched the whole thing. And I hope you enjoyed my insights and my thoughts. I'm looking forward to embarking on our journey with season 2. But until then, if you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next time, bye.